I went on to say that I did not like how he, at 42 years old, let something so small ruin his entire mood, and how he does this on a regular. Of course, he denied it, but with him being a sensitive, lying ass Pisces, I could tell I struck a nerve because he was now in this negative energy. On May 26, 2023, we were in a hit and run accident. We both were okay, no damage done to us physically, but his Jeep was messed up to the point where he could barely drive it. What pissed me off is how he lied to me about having insurance. When the car first hit us, he yelled, "Fuck, my insurance just lapsed." I didn't say anything at the time, but in my mind, I knew this accident was another sign that he was not for me. He lied to the police, telling them he had insurance, knowing he did not have any. Later on, I would find out his insurance expired on May 20th, and the accident was on May 26th. I knew this was his karma for trying to play me. When I confronted him about him lying about having insurance, he met me with more lies. I thought this, and I thought they would give me a grace period, and I was never sure when it actually expired. Our insurance expired in the same month. So I have been talking about getting new insurance, not with him though, even though he was trying to get joint bank accounts, insurance. I keep my money/business separate from my partners. Plus, he had the courts looking to serve him, according to a conversation I overheard him having with his brother. When I asked about that, he said he didn't know why they were looking for him. You can't win when you dirty. And now look who has to take him back and forth to work. Me. He was now becoming a distraction to me because he was keeping me from working. He was mad because his Jeep was down, even though I was the one trying to pull his muffler/tailpipe out from his tire. I'm all on the ground getting dirty while he just standing there looking dumb and helpless. I was so done with this loser, but I was just waiting for the right moment. Excuse me. I was not falling for his lies. I'm trying to block my throat chakra, but it's going down. I was not falling for his lies. He was trying to put on this facade of him being this provider, but he realized he got in over his head. He thought that I would not catch on to him still being in love with his ex. He thought he was slick. The last straw for me was a few weeks later when I caught him with bite marks on his chest. I knew he had cheated, but I was like, damn, he is good because we always together unless he's at work. He would always try to leave hickeys on me. I told him, don't put hickeys on me because we are too old for that shit. By this time, I was not having sex with him, so I guess he had to get it from somewhere. Sunday, he suggested that we should go to the pancake house for breakfast. I really wasn't on it because by this time, June, he had paid the majority of my rent, and I was now looking for a reason to send him on to his ex. On our way to the pancake house, I could tell that he was in a negative, passive-aggressive, controlling energy because he was mumbling shit and saying how he wanted to get his hair did. He has dreads, but no money to do it. He had more than enough money to make it for 2 weeks and get his hair did. He probably was angry about paying some of my rent. All I remember him saying was, "Do we have a problem?" And I snapped on him. We got into it really bad, and I told him if he keeps hitting my dashboard, there will be a problem. I told him right there that I was done with him, and he had all this rah-rah energy, don't nobody do shit for me, I take care of me, yada yada yada. When he said, "Oh, I got somewhere I could go," I said, "Good, get your shit and get the fuck out." He gagged. He wasn't expecting that. When we got back to my apartment, his whole demeanor/energy had changed. He begged me to stay, saying how he really don't have nowhere to go. I swear it was like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I did let him stay the night, and he slept on my floor in the living room. He would sleep on the floor in the living room whenever we got into it. He would try to make me feel sorry for him. I was growing tired of dudes using tactics on me like this. The next morning, I can't remember how it happened, but I told him I wanted him out by the 18th of June. He started up once again, "Nah, I'll get out right now," as he proceeded to call his supervisor to tell him that he would not be in today because he has to move his stuff. We started arguing. This ninja really had the nerve to say to me, my ex said you will make me pay your rent and then kick me out. I said, fuck you and your ugly ass ex. Back to Granny's house you go, I guess. You really thought I was about to chase after you, a 42-year-old who tried to come up in my place and scam me? I know what you have planned. You was just trying to use me until your ex got that money, and then you was going to dip. But nah, I'm beating you to the punch. You came up in here like you running shit, but really all you ran was some whack ass game that got you played. If you this provider, then you should have your own shit. By this time, I had pulled out my phone and started recording him, just in case he tried to swing on me or do damage to my place. He still had on his work uniform with the name on it. He started going off telling me how he was cheating on me with his ex since the last part of May. Excuse me. And how he has been sleeping with people on his job. I said, well, good. Go be with them because I got what I wanted. Since I had him on tape saying he was sleeping with people on his job, I was going to post a video on the company's Facebook page, but decided not to. See how I've grown? The argument was really bad. He was trying to go in saying shit like, that's why your family doesn't fuck with you. He even brought up my mom, and that's when I went for the jugular. I said, you talking about my mom, but yours is the one that's dead. I can call my mom right now and hear her voice, but all you got is this raggedy ass necklace. I broke his mom's necklace and threw it in his direction. Fits had come out by this time. Oh yeah, by this time he had called his aunt to come get him because his 2016 Jeep Grand Cherokee was barely drivable, but I told him if he left it, I would have it towed. He did not have much at my home, so it wasn't much for him to pack up. When he set his stuff outside my apartment, he then went to pour water out of his humidifier onto the floor outside of my apartment right in front of my door. So I grabbed some bleach and I poured it on his clothes, TV, and stereo. Whatever else the bleach felt like disinfecting. I guess I did that because I felt played by the tourist and I was in this mode of revenge. I never confronted the tourist because I knew that he would have tried to make it seem like I'm obsessed with him, like he does with the Leo who actually played him. I said to myself, I'm not letting this whack-ass Pisces get away with trying to play me as well. I do know how to stand up for myself, but I am also learning to choose my battles wisely. I'm not some baddie, but I will turn up. I will defend myself. People recognize that my energy is pure, so they think that they can come in and just take advantage of me. They don't know what lies beneath the surface of me for real, because if they did, people would not try me as they do. I appear nice, and I really am a nice person, but I don't play. I wanted to beat his ass because he got real disrespectful calling me all out my name. But he was getting put up out my place, going to his aunt's house. This dude really had the nerve to text me talking about that's why his ex was over at his aunt's house with him now. I truly did not care. I was glad to be done with him. To be honest, when we first got together, I was kind of testing the waters to see if I was healed or not. I came to the conclusion of I might not be healed all the way, but what I do know is intuition on point. I say that because I knew he was full of shit from the jump. This ninja told me, God told me that you and I are supposed to be together, we would be a power couple, but this ninja could not even explain what a power couple is. When I asked him, he said, a power couple is where I work and provide for us, and you take care of the house. I don't like to grocery shop, and I just want to be able to make all the money and you pay all the bills. He also said, God said this was my last chance, don't mess this up. Like I said, this ninja is full of shit. He doesn't even know what a power couple is, and his beliefs about relationships are outdated, but he is a cheater and a liar anyway. A power couple is a couple consisting of two people who are both influential / successful in their own right. Neither him or I have a platform. He doesn't even know what a power couple is, and nothing about him is influential. This is a man that doesn't even post pictures of himself on any of his social media accounts. Also, I remember him telling me, I know you are going places because you have a good head on your shoulders, you have a good vibe, you're beautiful and talented. But I didn't see any of this in him. No shade. So I came to the conclusion that once again it would be me putting in all the work. He would do just enough work to get in good with me and then stop. He would always say, we just need to come up with an idea, as we were watching Shark Tank. I had ideas, I just wasn't trying to share it with him because I knew I didn't see a future with him. Maybe it's because I'm not as healed as I thought I was, but even though I was not healed all the way, I could still detect that he was full of shit. Maybe it was because his views on marriage. He doesn't believe in divorce. I told him up front, I believe in divorce because ain't no ninja going to be hitting me, cheating on me, and calling me out my name. I believe in divorce. He didn't like that response. I believe in divorce. Even if I have to walk away like Tina did, and baby, I believe in divorce. I will walk away. I don't care. People will try to marry you and shit just to trap you up. No. Take the businesses, take all that shit. I'll regenerate everything. I am glad that I dodged yet another bullet thanks to the Most High. I felt like I failed the test in following my intuition because I knew I should have not entertained S, but I did anyway. Overall, I know that the Most High protects me, and I'm grateful for this big lesson. He got what he had in my place and got the hell on. I have not seen or heard from him since. I have not been looking to date or have sex with anyone either. I haven't had sex since mid-May of 2023, and I'm looking to keep it that way. I was warned that this would happen because of a tarot video that I watched. I know that I am not codependent, but I don't want to be alone. I don't need a partner, but a partner would be nice. I was starting to see that maybe I truly don't have a partner. I'm not sad about it, and I can see why. I do have a mission to complete. I can be by myself. I have no problem with that. People that come into my energy do weird things. They end up moving funny regarding me. I am tired of my own lover either seeing me as competition or getting jealous of me because I am blessed. It's hard to explain, but this feeling is why I am not even really on dating anymore. It is so hard to trust people with so many STDs going around. I refuse to catch herpes. I don't want to catch gonorrhea. I don't want to catch none of that stuff. I already have, one thing going for me, and I don't need anything else. I do want to send a special shout out because I have to keep it real. The Happy Cancer Soul Tribe, and through Lynn's eyes. Lynn, yes. I just want to say from my heart that I thank you all so much and that I love you all. This is proof that spirituality is real and that the Most High can use anyone he pleases. In the Bible, there was one account where the king had a dream and could nobody but Daniel explain it. Not all intuitive people use tarot cards. Daniel didn't use cards when he explained the king's dream. I myself don't read tarot cards. I always say I just be knowing stuff. I know when someone is lying to me. It's like I can feel the vibration/energy. I always say Judge Judy has nothing on me. I can walk into a room and read the energy in the room. I can literally feel it, whether it's good or bad. I know what a person is thinking, sometimes especially towards me, good or bad. I don't know exactly how I be knowing things. I just know, and I follow my own intuition as a result. I don't know exactly how I be knowing things. I just know, and I follow my own intuition as a result. I feel my experience with tarot was to learn what it's all about so that I could be able to explain how it's definitely not what I presumed it to be. Yes, there are people who use it for bad purposes, but there are people who use tarot for good as well. Like I said, I am real, and I have to give credit where credit is due. When I say tarot definitely helped me by confirming what I was already feeling towards people in my day-to-day life, such as family and friends. I don't use tarot cards personally, but I do listen from time to time. How can I help people that suffer from spiritual attacks if I don't know what's all involved? How can I help people cope if I never experienced anything? I am learning that my life is a tool to help other people learn how to deal with the many woes of life. I am proof that the Most High will show mercy on who He shall show mercy to, and who will judge Him? No one. I am like the male version of Ellen Holmes. She was a character played by Viola Davis in Medea Goes to Jail. She was a former prostitute that turned her life around. She was still out in the streets helping others, and not in the pulpit being uppity with her nose turned up at people forgetting where she came from. She was strong too. She didn't take no mess, and she didn't beg you to join her ministry. Same here. I've never seen myself being a preacher / pastor, but I have always known that I was a teacher. I'm not looking for followers. I ask that you follow Christ, because He is the only way back to the Most High. I agreed to do this book because I do love the Most High, Ahia, Christ, Yeshua, and the Holy Spirit, Wabrawak. I don't have anything to prove to anyone, which is why I bared my soul, use my life as an example. After I put the trash, S was the last until further notice. I needed to get me together. I basically was preparing to step into the unknown. I did try to find work, but I knew it was time for me to go. I was truly by myself, no friends, family, and definitely was not looking for love. I am over that shit. Most importantly, no hookups and no going back on the apps. I spent my B-Day alone. I did not even go to Gay Pride in Minneapolis. It was during my B-Day. Honestly, I had too many enemies that I knew would be there, and I could smell a setup, so I paid it. I changed my cell number, so I didn't expect any calls. I was preparing for something. I just didn't know what. I had cut ties with my family, so I knew there was no going back to Toledo, and I was being evicted from my apartment because I could no longer afford to pay my rent. But that was okay, because although I do love my place of 8 years, the vibe had changed due to the third management company that took over. They allowed renters to have big dogs, and I have no issue with dogs, but the hallways are already narrow, and some owners don't believe in leashes. I don't have time to be getting bit and dealing with all of that. Also, for the first time ever since I have been there, it was a lot of little kids, and I mean at least 15. I don't mind kids, but understand that most of these kids will not be supervised. These kids will ride their bikes in the front driveway and around by the garages, which was very dangerous. I would not be surprised if one day I hear that a child was hit. If you had seen how the driveway and parking lot set up, you will understand why. Especially by the garages where I park, it's a blind corner with no mirror there to see around the corner if another car is turning. These little kids, toddlers, ride their bikes in between the two sets of garages. It's just dangerous. Oh yes, and I can't forget about the brown water that comes from the tub and shower, but that have been happening since the first company managed the apartment complex. It doesn't happen too often. It happens mostly when whoever is working on the plumbing turns the water back on. By what I thought was the end of me staying here, I was tired. When I first moved in, the apartment complex was on point. I have a corner unit and I could smoke weed in peace. Just being honest. My place does not stink like weed either. I keep a Glade plug-in in every wall socket in my place. I use the Glade Febreze plug-ins in my room, and I use bleach in my dishwater. I do have a dishwasher, but I never use it. I have to wash my dishes. I use pine sol or bleach in my bathroom. I wash the walls and floor behind my toilet. I believe how clean the bathroom / kitchen is shows how clean a person is. I don't have any animals, so there's no smell. I don't play that. My neighbors are cool and not noisy. We speak. I still do love my apartment. I have a screened-in balcony, and overall the apartment itself is very spacious, but I do wish I had more closet space. I made it 8 years so far with no roaches, no bed bugs, and I have one mouse. Thank the Most High. But other than that, no infestations. I'm a very clean and neat person. My closet is very organized. I can't live in mess. After the first company left, everything went to hell, but they sure kept raising the rent. I was really annoyed how the residents in my building purposely broke the lock on the front door to enter the building. They would keep the front door jammed because they did not want to pay for another key. We have a buzz/intercom system, but I guess that wasn't good enough. I was so over most of these people. The apartment complex would leave the door broken for months on end, complaining that people keep breaking the lock. They would not want to do the smart thing and put a hidden camera there like I had suggested. Them leaving the door broken was a security risk on them if anything was to happen, because anyone could enter the building, even people that are not residents. My car needed repairs. I had bills on top of bills, but I knew something, someone, or some whack-ass witch coven was waiting for me to give up, but I refused. At this point, I didn't know where I was going to go, and I had an idea, which was somewhere south, because I didn't want to be homeless in the cold of Minneapolis. I was sad, of course. I am human, but I wasn't depressed, maybe a little scared. I had a feeling that everything was going to work out in my favor, in which it did, but keep reading. I actually was quite calm because the situation had gotten out of my control, and I kind of felt like that's how the Most High wanted it to be. Why? To show all my haters that it was Him that brought me out of darkness and from rags to riches. I told you all that I had been fighting a witch coven, so I knew that they had a hand in trying to take me out. This was another reason why I felt that I had to move. I felt too many people knew where they could find me. Their spells was not working. I was dodging the car accidents left and right, all praises to the Most High. So I knew that eventually someone would try to come at me in person. I decided to only take my clothes, shoes, and queen's pots. I was not leaving my clothes behind. Hey, your brother have to look good wherever I go. I had all my clothes and shoes packed up even before I met the last ninja I put out of my apartment. I have been ready to go, honestly. So today is October 18, 2023, and a few things have changed. Update. The Most High is so good. I am so grateful to my Abba, for real. The last time I was editing/writing was around mid/September 2023, and at that time I was facing eviction. I had an agreement with the company that was losing ownership of the apartment complex that I had been at for 8 years. The agreement was for them to cover my last month, July 2023, of rent on my lease that I had at that time. Long story short, of course, they did not relay this to the new management company of my apartment complex. The property manager, who was no longer working as the property manager, bye bitch, contacted me and told me that my rent for July had not been covered. This was around mid-July, so I told him that I reached out to a program called Every Penny Counts that helps me twice a year with my rent. They're a non-profit organization that helps people with HIV/AIDS. Not only do they help with rent, but they also send out these $60 Cub Food gift cards every month. I'm telling all this because I want some of the gays that are struggling in places like ATL, Chicago, and NY to know that there are some states that will really help you, and Minneapolis is one of those states. A lot of the gays/girls know that they need help, but because a city like Minneapolis might not have the best gay scene, they will stay in places like ATL/NYC that do have a hot gay scene, struggling, damn near dying, also they can be around the it girls doing drugs, porn, and etc. while never becoming an it girl because they have no money. They would rather stay in Airbnbs or hotels. Shaking my head, stupid. Hey, I am not ashamed to say I have received help. Like I said, I never pretend to be cashy. I have ups and downs like everyone else. I have no family, no friends. I was not working at the time, and my only real monetary source was Uber/Lyft, in which I no longer do because I'm back working. Not to shade Uber/Lyft, because I made $3,100 in 30 days doing Uber/Lyft. That's how I ate and kept some of my bills paid. And I could have made more if I really would have hit it hard. I will mostly only take airport runs. Those rides will be anywhere from $20 to $50. Rides to see attractions like Paisley Park, the Home of Prince, the casino, or the Mall of America. Rides that were $20 and up will get my attention. I would do like 5 to 6 rides a day and have almost $200 a day, including tips. So I would never shit on Uber/Lyft because I did make money. I do feel like the Uber Eats portion of the Uber driver app could pay more for deliveries. Side note, I do stand by that because, for instance, if you're paying me to deliver this food, right? You're not paying me to go into Wingstop and get their drinks. They're not paying for that. They only paying for the mileage and the distance. So if I have to go in to this place, I'm just expecting to pick the food up and be on my way. I shouldn't have to fill drinks and stuff like that. No. Because you're only paying me to deliver the food. And so, and it's not on the customers. Like, no, this is not on the customers. Please don't take offense with all the way. You need to get a better job. No. Uber needs to do a better job with that Uber Eats. They do. And I stand by that. I'm telling you. Because they only pay you to deliver, you know, the miles that you drive, the distance that you drive. That's what they pay you for. And even if you're doing like the Walmart runs, the store runs, which is, man, the Walmart that's down the street from me, off of, well, around the corner from me, is one of the most horrible when it comes to that. Man, sometimes you have to wait 1 to 2 hours to pick those stuff up, you know? And then it's like they only paying you to deliver the groceries, but you got to get outside of your car and take the groceries up. You know, you should be paying for that too. That's work, you know? You shouldn't have to rely on a tip. Like, that's not right. So I do stand on that. I was not just sitting around at home doing nothing either.